Hello, hello, hello. It's your boys, the DM podcast. I'm your boy, Mike. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have more coming. We have more hits coming. This is the NBA Finals preview pod because we have the two last teams, the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. But before I continue on, I have to ask my boy, YS, how's everything going?
You already know, every day above ground is a good
Good,
one.
good, good. I agree. I agree. Even before we even continue, this is a ball pod. But we randomly talk about different things. And as some people can see under my name, the Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, have made it to the Stanley Cup. Shout out to Leon Draisaitl. Shout out to Kane. I was supposed to say Patrick Kane, not Patrick Kane. No, no, no.
Yeah,
I
no,
was gonna say Daniel Nurse. Shout out to him. Shout out to the man, the myth, not the myth, the fucking best player in the league, Connor McDavid.
that guy's a beast.
Let's go. Oilers are in the finals. We've had some teams go to the finals, like 2021. The Canadians were there, but of course they lost. We haven't had a Stanley Cup winner since '93. Okay, since '93, McDavid is the best player in the league. Leon Draisaitl is probably like top five best players in the league. So you have two top five players on this team. You're going against the Florida Panthers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's bring the cup back to Canada. So shout out to Edmonton. I gotta give them some love.
Shout out to the Florida Panthers, man. It's hot as hell in Florida. So the fact that y'all be playing hockey and getting to the finals, that's what's up. Because Edmonton is a brick. They be playing hockey over there. Yeah.
The last 6 years, it's weird. The state of Florida has had the like the Eastern Conference has been hosted by the Florida because Tampa Bay went like three
Yes.
times, and this is Florida's second time in a span of like 3 years. So Tampa Bay and Florida have literally killed it, and like this is what people dislike or have a trouble. Even I do. Yo, hockey is for Canada, right? We talk about
Canada.
hockey,
Yeah.
and we're barely there. Like we
Barely.
barely make it. But you tell me Florida, which is not what you say the hottest state in the states right now, or in some cases, Florida makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals multiple times. Nah, that things need to change. Things need to change. So luckily, we have the best player in a Canadian team. Of course, we all, I especially would want the Leafs to make it to the finals. But if Connor can win, I strongly then can believe one day Matthews will bring the Leafs to a championship title because it's the inevitable. Most good hockey players win titles. Like most number one picks who are generational win titles. I strongly believe Matthews will bring a title to Toronto in the next 5 to 10 years. I truly believe that. But shout out to them. Just want to give a big shout out before we get into this NBA conversation. Hope I had to say what up to them. Had to. So we'll first talk about the two teams that didn't make it. The Indiana Pacers and Minnesota Timberwolves. Indiana was my team. I can never deny that was the team I wanted. I truly think Boston could have Boston could have lost some games if Tyrese Halliburton was available. But the one thing Indiana has, Jarris Walker is a power forward, a rookie power forward. Didn't really get to see a lot of PT. A lot of people believe in him to the point that like he wasn't traded for Pascal. A lot of people they thought they could have got like a young player. Obviously, didn't get no young player. They got Bruce Brown for contract and then a bunch of other stuff, random things that they don't care for. But this Jarris Walker, they believe could be good. Matherin didn't play. Nemhard, people are already talking about. Is this the new Jalen Brunson? Is this the young point guard that's on the team that he Jalen? I would say Nemhard's value has doubled. So whoever
100.
asks for Nemhard, you're gonna have to put a lot of money for Nemhard. But overall, the team is young. They still have a bunch of players. But what do you think they should do? You think they should kind of see what next year brings you? They're gonna have to pay Pascal the big contract anyway. What do you think the Pacers should do?
To be honest, this is a team where, they need to really see what they can do next year. I would say run it back. I wouldn't make any changes really right now
Yeah,
because it's just like they're still very young. Everyone's still young. Let them grow. Let them develop as players, as a team, build chemistry. And then once, let's say the third year by the trade deadline, this is year one. Next year, the year after by trade deadline, February. See where you guys are at. See which players are developing, which players are serious, right? Which players are have bought in. You know what I mean? And go from there. But it's too early right now. They're too young. A lot of upside. A lot of upside. So that's my thing. Keep Turner. I know teams
Yes.
are gonna call y'all and be like, yo, what we want Turner? Pick who you guys want on our squad, more or less. Right? But as a Pacer GM, if I'm in as GM, I'm saying let these guys grow and we'll run it back again next year. Exactly the same squad.
I agree. I think so some people have called this run a fluke, and I can see why. Giannis and Dame were hurt. Embiid wasn't healthy. New York got like plenty of injuries. All those things happen. So I can see why you call it a fluke. But in the same breath, I'm thinking like you have a pretty good like young talent. If Nemhard's coming off the bench, that's an instant like 6 man of the year candidate because I think Matherin originally started, so I think they're gonna make Matherin start. But eventually, you have to make a decision who you're gonna start, Matherin or Nemhard. You
I
have to
know.
figure that
Matthew
out.
is nice, right? But Nemhard is just show like he's playing with confidence. He's got a nice little
Yeah,
mid-range dribble pull-up pack that you need.
his mid range is much better than I thought it was,
It's
but
like automatic.
it's very good. And then like, so then okay, you have that like you're cooling like you have those guys, like I said, you have Jarris Walker. You have a lot of young guys. You're gonna pay Pascal, Obi Toppin.
Yep.
I
You have the
think
best bench in the league. Like you guys are the only team that can really go five up, five down.
I
Really,
think with
trust me.
Toppin, he's a free agent, so I think they're gonna give him the money. But then they're saying because of Jarris Walker, they won't pay him. That's what I've read that they may not pay Toppin because you have Jarris Walker and you want him to play. He's 20. He potentially could shoot the three, play a little bit of defense. Like he may be a good backup to have. So that's something that they may do. And it's one of those tough situations. But if you don't want it to be a fluke, I agree with you. Just kind of wait. Don't rush anything. Don't rush. I
Exactly.
think you both have said about Tyrese Halliburton. He isn't, or I don't think he wants to be the number one guy.
He doesn't, yeah.
He's a spectacular player who is a number two player. He could be a top 15 player, but he needs the number one guy with him. He needs a guy that's going to get them over the top. But I think you had said it last week. Carlisle's offense sometimes may not need a number one guy until like the last like 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes of the game, because it's so up and down. It doesn't matter. Whoever feels like they have the mismatch, take advantage of it. So I think that's gonna happen. They're gonna add Pascal more like to their lineups and different lineups and different matchups, and then try to work their offensive better. So I think that's gonna be overall good. But yeah, I agree with you. Like just chill. Ultimately,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Just don't do anything crazy. We've seen teams kind of go over unless a team's calling you for someone like really good. Then you see if you can make a move. But that's what you got to look at Nemhard and Matherin and be like, now, like I said, Nemhard is worth a player to me. He's worth a
Yeah.
player, like a
Yes.
good, better than Mikal Bridges type player.
Because there's only up for Nemhard. Only up. He didn't reach
Only
the ceiling yet. And he's doing this against hard physical defense in the playoffs. We
right,
notice a difference in physicality in the playoffs.
right.
A lot of guys are like, but it's playoffs, there's no fouls like that. So
I just thought of it right now. So just the contracts won't match, but I'm just thinking player for player. You trade Nemhard and Matherin for Kuzma and Jordan Poole. I say it because of the offensive side of things. Would that be an offensive upgrade or a downgrade? Once I added Jordan Poole, I thought of a downgrade to me immediately.
yeah,
So
I was gonna say, you know what? I wouldn't do it.
I just think with Halliburton and Poole would be a pretty good mix.
I would want to say that, but Poole is maybe because it's a better system. Like there's a system over there, right? Washington is really just like it's you and Kuz. So it's like so
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know, maybe. A guard would settle him down and get him this ball in the right spot because they know okay, Halliburton's getting the ball on the inbound. So
right.
maybe. I'd rather Kuz though. Out
Right, I
Kuz.
think Kuzma, but I realized with him with Kuzma, he his like trade, he can choose where he wants to go. Ultimately, he can choose where he wants to go. Because I think they'll talk to him like, hey, like we have a trade online like, where you would be about going to that team. Because he said
Yep.
no to going to a team because he wants to stay in Washington. So I almost feel like his trade value is increased because as like a solid fourth guy, he's not bad on a team, like a fourth guy.
That's amazing if he's the fourth on the squad.
Because he could score 20.
If he's the fourth on the squad, that to me could be a contending team. Fourth on
Yeah.
squad, Kuz. Yeah, that's a legit squad.
Yeah, he's a good player. So, but if I'm Washington, I'm like, man, I will give you a draft pick for Nemhard. Maybe not this year draft pick, maybe like a down the line draft pick for Nemhard.
This year draft pick is you got to give him 2 or 3 for Nemhard. This year's draft.
It's weird because like yeah, this year's draft pick is and we haven't even done draft talk, but when we get to it, Atlanta is confused on who they're gonna pick because this year's not the year that you really want number one. You almost want like 4, 5, 6, 7. Like you want those ones because it
Well,
makes it
we're on the
easier
second
to pick,
round. At least it's like a second round, whatever.
right? Because like you're about to say we got a number one overall pick. Please don't look at this guy like a number one overall pick because he's not. Right? We immediately have to not think this guy's going to be a superstar because they're not going to be. So it makes it kind of weird. If you get Alexander Sarr, you know he's developing. He's not going to be that type of person. The other Frenchman, I forgot his name, who's probably going to go number one overall because he's a wing and you don't in their mind you don't need another forward because you have a Kongbu, but it's
Yeah,
whatever. That's something that you should that we'll talk about in the future. But yeah, I just think if you're Washington, you're like, hey man, like maybe not next year, but the following year, like a 2026 pick, I'll trade you for a Nemhard because Nemhard's money is low, so you can go
yeah.
one
He's
of their
still
young
rookie.
guys. You
Yeah.
can go like a Kispert with a draft pick, maybe a Kispert, another young player, and then a draft pick for a Nemhard. It's not bad. A Kispert can shoot threes. He's
Pittsburgh's decent. He's decent still. He's decent.
right. I would think about, but like I said, if I'm trading you Nemhard, I most likely need 2 draft picks.
Yeah.
I want 2 draft picks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Nemhard
I
is.
would try to beg you for your 2025 draft pick. But if Washington ever traded a 2025 draft pick, that'd be the dumbest thing in like franchise history for Nemhard. I like Nemhard, but 2025 is about to be what we all have heard a historic draft, and you are going to be bad. You're going to have a top 5 pick next year.
Shout out to Cooper Flag.
You're gonna get Cooper, you get AJ. There's a few other names that are floating out there. Come on, there's the guy from is it or Cameroon or Senegal, one of those two.
Oh,
Uh,
playing with Cooper at Duke.
yeah, him.
Holy, the
Like
17 man. Yeah,
there's
yeah.
some guys. You don't trade 2025. I think this is the year we won't see that 2025 trade. We won't see draft picks move 2020 for 2025. No way. They'll
This
move
is
future
this is
one.
this draft is reminding me of the Jalen Green draft.
Next year's draft or this coming one.
This coming draft.
Really? But Cade was kind of talked about.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Cade was in it. Yeah, you're never mind. Never mind.
Yeah,
This
Cade
draft
was
is
talked
actually
about.
to me,
This draft's not that is not
holy,
right.
this draft is yeah, this is not that good then.
It's not. And like
They're just having this draft because they need to have one every year. That's the reason
legit.
why.
That's legit. They would not even do a draft at all. If they'd be like, we could just skip this year. Atlanta's like, hey man, we'll just skip it. Like, can we just take next year's draft number one pick? Like, we'll skip this. Like, we don't need this one. And like it's crazy because like people say like, oh, like the Giannis was a 2013 draft. They said that was a weak draft, but Giannis came. No. That's still a weak draft. If one person comes who's like an all timer, doesn't make it a strong draft. It's overall
Mhm.
still a weak draft. Like, let's not. Like a strong draft is the '09 draft. It's a strong ass
Not
draft.
like Westbrook, Caleb, what's up,
No,
kid?
that's
That was
'08 draft. '09 is the I'm gonna Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan,
okay.
Blake Griffin, Stephen Harden. That is
Oh,
an elite.
Steph. Okay, yeah, yeah.
That's an
That's a good
elite
draft.
draft. Okay.
That's a good
Like
draft.
'08 was Rose, Westbrook, Love.
Oh, he was good then.
'08 was good. Like, there's some draft picks that draft years are good. But then I think about the Paul George draft one. That's the John Wall. There's a bunch of good players that like fell off. Like John Wall, DeMarcus
VC
Cousins,
draft was a good draft.
Vince Carter's.
Yeah, Jameson.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce, Nowitzki.
Yeah. See, that's a good draft. See, when you're saying names like that, those are names.
Yeah,
After Giannis, we're talking about like Oladipo. We're talking about McCollum. Like, we're not saying anyone.
like
Like,
those are good guys, but Oladipo
right,
retired and no one knew.
right, right, right. So like, these guys are just like, no, I think Oladipo's still playing, or did he retire? Because he
I
should
swear
retire.
I heard he retired. I
He should
swear.
retire. He should retire. He should. His knees and everything is just not. It's not. He's
Yeah, we
not
want you
good.
to walk after basketball, Oladipo. Real
You know what I'm
talk.
saying? For real, for real. Like, boy, it's just no focus on the singing or something. But yeah,
You can sing too.
legit. We sidetracked for. It's funny. Let's go back to the team that Oladipo became the star with, Indiana. Go
No shit.
front
Yeah,
right
yeah.
back. But yeah, Indiana to just chill out. See, pick up the phone when people call for Neymar. You don't got to do it. Just pick up the phone. Just say, hey, what's up? Oh, this for Nemhard. Oh, this for Matherin. Okay, cool. Give me an extra additional this and that. That's what I think they should do. Minnesota. So they got eliminated. I think, they fought hard. We wanted one game for them to win. They did. What what's next for them? Pretty much everyone signed for next year. Does Anthony Edwards get a contract extension? I think he already did that contract extension. Yeah, everyone signed. Mike Conley signed. Yeah, they're all signed. So what do you do for them? And what moves can you make?
What moves would I do if I was the T-Wolves? Well, I don't know, man. Like, there's something has to be done with Towns, I feel, because you had one 20-point game in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
You're $100 million player. You were supposed to be the guy before Ant-Man. You are supposed to be a legit, decent number two.
yeah,
And it was like you were laying eggs in the playoffs. Like everyone else was carrying you and Gobert working together, which was surprising.
yeah,
But I don't know. I feel like they exceeded expectations this year. And when
definitely
the team exceeds expectations, you don't want to tweak.
true.
But I feel like the Towns factor, like I feel like he needs to be moved or something needs to be done with Towns still.
I
Because he's in the regular season, he can ball, but shoot threes, but in playoffs, just foul trouble and inconsistent and bad shooting games and shit. And this has always been.
the thing with Towns, you've said it. Everyone says it. The mistakes are so much mistakes it just generally like grinds your gears the amount of mistakes this man makes. And he can't just make all those mistakes. Obviously, Towns is a really good player. There's no doubt about it.
He can
That
ball.
Carl Towns is a good player. I think with this team, I think they did the thing that I've been asking for. Make the team Anthony Edwards team.
100.
And they made it his team. He's the number one guy. Everyone knows he's number one guy. Conti Towns did take a back seat, which I give him kudos for taking that back seat because he had to realize that like it's not mine anymore. It's this guy's that dynamic. I feel like they can make it work again, but it's more like I don't know. I would keep everything status quo. Anthony Edwards, just once he continues to improve, I think the better they are. They clearly can do nothing without Mike Conley. That is an issue within itself.
And
Try to figure out the non-Mike Conley minutes.
that's yeah, because they look lost on offense. You're right. They did
Without
look.
Mike
It was
Conley.
like Ant-Man create for us, and if he's just dribbling between his legs in and out, pass the ball, get it back, set a screen. Yeah, the offense is looking real like what the fuck you guys doing?
Right, right, right. So I think they need to do something. Rudy Gobert is still going to be Rudy Gobert. He's going to be a good defender. Their overall team, they have Nikhil signed. They have Nas Reed signed. All those stuff is still pretty good. So in that sense, it'd be fine. But you trade Carly Towns, like you got to get the thing is who do you trade? Whoever you trade Carly Towns for, it has to be a number two guy,
Yeah,
right? You can't just give Anthony Edwards another random. He needs another two, like another guy. Like he needs another guy to help him on both ends of the ball. So it's really something that you have to kind of figure out. If it's not going to be a good deal, you don't make the deal.
would a good deal? I don't know how the contracts be, but if it's let's say a one for one, what about Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I think their contracts would match. But Jaren Jackson, you think you'd make him a number two guy?
Like
And I'm not sure if Karl Towns and the Grizzlies would mesh well at all as a talent. I do not think they would mesh well.
I know, but shit, like Jaren Jackson is the defender too.
Yeah,
Shoot the three.
defensively would be good, but I don't think Jaren Jackson. You would need him to space out more, and him and Rudy Gobert would even be a worse
Yeah.
team together in that sense. Um, Not now, but I hope I can remember this. I should write this down. In the future, I want to do like players who everyone knows is good, but I also think they're like a product of how the environment is. Like I don't know how to better explain it, but what's the guy's name who's on Memphis Grizzlies? The shooting guard. What's his name?
Bane,
Bane. So to me, Bane is okay. Like he's okay.
kind of hating, but it's your
But then
kind of
I
hate.
know he gets 20 points a game. Like I get it, but I should say more like I don't think they do anything impactful to me.
Like the thing is, Bane is I want to say 6'1". I want to say 6'1". Wingspan 5'10".
Yeah,
He's got
it's,
little ass arms,
yeah,
right?
he does.
And yeah, so he's doing his thing in the league. Like, he's shooting 40%
He
from
shoots
three,
well. The thing is, I don't know, there's
and he's
something
on like 10 attempts or 9 attempts.
I don't know. There's something. I just think maybe he's more suited for like a fourth guy on a team, not like a second or third. I think that's what I really like. Is there guys whose roles are just higher than they should be? And he's one of those guys to me. His role is just way higher than it needs to be. He's more of a honestly, number three, number four guy on a team. He's more the KCP to me.
I would say three. I wouldn't diss him and go four. Like I would say three. Like two, we didn't expect him to be even a two, even to be like this coming out of college.
No, even though I did want him for the Raptors, I ain't gonna hold you. I definitely want. And the crazy thing, like everything happens for a reason. But if
Yeah,
he was on the Raptors, he'd be their starting shooting guard right now.
yeah, yeah.
Right? And the whole team would be completely different. I think the team, but they would be like they're too small. If him and Fred and like OG and like they'd be too small at the time. But I did want, I definitely wanted him for a second. So yeah, so Minnesota, we both agree. If they do anything, it's a content talent thing they do, but it has to be like perfect for them.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
has to be perfect. Like it can't just be a random trade a bunch of picks for a card. No, it has to be someone good that's gonna help them. Unless you truly think McDaniels is about to be the next Pippen in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you really believe this guy's about to be that guy.
The thing is, I like McDaniel still. He's got still upside. He still can get better. So it's just that Towns in the playoffs, especially because regular season they can get top three seed, one,
Yeah.
two, three and seed, right? It's just if they can get Towns to figure it out in the playoffs, then I would kind of just keep, you know what I mean? Run it back again, right? Maybe they should run it back again, right? Because it wasn't like you guys got to the West final, so it wasn't like, oh shit, we need to blow up the team. Oh, we need to trade this guy, this guy. You know what I mean? You guys made the West finals, right? Against a very competitive Western Conference, right? You guys have number one defense for a reason with that squad. So to me, it's just a coaching thing with Towns at this point. If he can be coached to be better in the playoffs, but if he can't be, then it's up to y'all. Like, are y'all good with going to the, you know what I mean, playoffs and just y'all want a ring or so that's where I stand with that. So if you can coach Towns in the playoffs differently, or he changes how he plays differently, the mistakes, sky's the limit.
I
Sky's the
agree.
limit for the Wolves.
I think like you said, like ultimately, yeah, some teams will get better in the West, but ultimately, you're still like the third best team in the West. Like I'm not too sure how OKC is going to be next season, but we probably think Denver's still going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's them, right? Like they're pretty. We're pretty sure they'll be both top six teams at most. At most you both be top six teams. So I think
Yeah.
yeah, you don't make too much moves. But I do think if you need that help, it's to help Anthony Edwards. Okay, so now we got the NBA Finals. We have Boston versus Dallas. We all seen how they both got here. We'll get to our predictions at the end. Probably the complete end. We'll after we talk about a bunch of things. But Boston and Dallas, how excited are you of this NBA Finals?
This is gonna be one of the better NBA finals still. I'm not even gonna lie. Like
Entertaining. I think this should be entertaining.
very entertaining, got star power.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So Beantown, historic franchise. You got Captain Light Skin over there. You know what I mean? So you already know what it's gonna be, right? Beantown got a few guys that can get it done. Shout out to Pritchard. Shout out to Pritchard. You
He's like
know,
their best bench guy.
I'm telling you, like that's their bench. That's their
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah, he
Pritchard
really
is
is.
their bench. Like, you know what I mean?
And
Who
the
was
thing,
scoring for
Dallas
them,
has a bench
Pritchard?
too,
Dallas's bench is Tim Hardaway's just laying eggs
but he doesn't play. The kid doesn't play him anymore.
because he lays
Yeah.
eggs. But I hear you. I hear you. It is what it is. But man, it's gonna be entertaining though. Luca, yeah, and everyone loves Luca. He's third in MVP every year. You know, what I mean, behind the two centers. So
Yeah.
Kyrie is in his magic bag again. You know what I mean? So it's entertaining. Like
It should be
it's
entertaining.
entertaining. Like can't lie, this is fun. Kyrie going back to Beantown, KP going back to Dallas. You know, there's a little bit of storylines there. So hey.
There's a bunch of like there's so much storylines to this NBA Finals. It's the can Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown get over the hump? Is Jason Tatum a top five guy? Is he a top four guy?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with Jason
Yeah.
Tatum? Is Jalen Brown really the better player out of him and Jason Tatum? Is Luca Magic real? Is Luca a future Hall of Famer? Like,
Jalen
which
Brown.
he is. But like does the best player always win, or is it the best team that always wins? It's
A
a
little
lot.
bit of both. It's a little bit of both. The
It
best,
really is.
best team.
And then like you have two young teams winning it. Like I'll make my prediction at the end, but like when I can I visually when I close my eyes, can I vision Luca holding the title? Not really. It's so weird. And maybe just this year, because I'm thinking like they're really because to me they really came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did.
Like
They're the dark horse for a reason, right?
they
They were the
came
dark
out of
horse.
nowhere just to be here. Like yo, Dallas is about to win a title. Because normally the teams that win the title is a team that was like a top three seed, at least. The team you're like, okay, at least Boston was the best team, whatever was the best team. But Dallas is like the fifth seed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Dallas made it? Oh, shout out to them.
And the Clippers were the fourth seed, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Dallas beat 50 win teams to get here. All 50 win teams, if you take that in.
Yep.
That's kind of big.
I think they're top five already historically on beating good teams to make it to the finals. Top five. Most teams face like a bad team and they never did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were always they're always going to be away every single series because they're away with the Clippers, they're away with OKC, and they're away with Minnesota. Now they're away with Boston. So they always started from the bottom, really.
Shit,
So
that's true. That's true. Yeah, these Dallas playing with a chip on their shoulder, like the fact that kid won a ring there like 13 years ago too is like, okay.
it's a
Like,
lot. Like it's
like they're playing with that on their shoulder too. Like, yo, our coach brought us the first ring with Dirk that's sitting on the baseline right there. So it's like it's different in that arena. You know what I mean? It's different.
I'm gonna ask a question that's gonna be asked if this happens. This question will be asked. So I'm gonna ask it early, and I'll probably ask it again after. Um, if Luca wins, is he the best Dallas Maverick of all time?
If Luca wins, is he the best Dallas Maverick of all
Because
time?
I promise you, that's the question. If he
I'm gonna
wins,
I'm gonna say no. He's not. You got Disco Dirk over there that put 20 seasons.
this is true.
20 seasons.
This is
He
true.
got a ring. He didn't get two, but he put 20 seasons. Get get a ring first. Get 20 seasons in. We'll talk. We'll talk. Because
I
20
think that's
seasons with
fair.
one franchise
I think
and a
that's fair.
ring, and you were like you were changed the game like you were one of the first 7-footers stretching the floor at the center.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of 6, 7 guys that can do what you do, Luca. No offense. You're
Yeah,
just doing, you perfected it though, right?
that's
But
fair.
I can't say you're the best. Like one of my friends was saying, yo, the best white player is going to be Luca, is Luca, and I'm like,
All time?
he said all the time like this. You know that Bird played.
Yeah,
Bird
yeah,
played in the NBA. You know that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And he's like, yo, I'm not watching Bird. I'm watching Luca right now. And I'm like, shit,
Bird
wow.
has what, like 4 titles, 5 titles? No, Bird was
Bird
ahead.
had 3 titles. The man had three 3-point titles too. The man had he was on all defensive teams. Bird was on three all
Yeah,
defensive teams.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You kidding me?
Bird is a problem. Let's never think that.
And he had back spasms. So let's say he was healthy, he would have more seasons and more numbers. There was a game where he was going off on Atlanta Hawks in the 80s,
Yeah.
and the bench was doing, oh, damn, oh, shit. The opposing team bench. You
Yeah, Bird,
serious?
Bird is not. I wouldn't put Luca there just yet. That's why.
What is top 10 all time?
That's the whole Dirk thing. And then what are we saying? Jokic doesn't include, like, where's Jokic in this?
Here's the thing. Jokic is not top 10 all time. He's not. He's
Right,
not.
right. So then Luca has to beat Jokic before he even gets to be the best white guy, European or
Exactly.
non-European ever. Like,
Exactly.
he has to do a lot. But there's a bunch of stars, like you said, Kyrie going back to the Garden. Whew. The lovely storylines there. The jokes that people are making about the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets really helped both teams. Brooklyn's draft picks. I know everyone keeps including Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was not a Brooklyn draft pick. I still don't think Jalen Brown was a Brooklyn draft pick,
Holy. Shout out
right?
to
And then,
Brooklyn.
like, they help they still helped them a few ways. And then with Dallas, the Kyrie trade was the Brooklyn trade. So Brooklyn helped them a lot. It's the former Grant Williams teams. Grant Williams with Boston. Grant Williams was with Dallas. He's watching both his former teams in a
Punching air.
span of less than 12 months join each other in the finals and face each other. It's kind of sus. You feel kind of weird. You're like, oh, maybe I was the problem.
And
Um, but like,
he was the
but
defender.
like, yeah. And so yeah, all these things are happening for this. I think I like it because it's young players. It's young guys. It's like a new phase. Me and you have talked about it before. KD, Steph, and LeBron. Whew, those are our stars. We don't talk about them as much. Like, we really don't. Like, and what we talk about them a lot because we have the nostalgia of it, but they're not the ones who are really taking over the league. It's really been the Giannis, Jokic, Luka time.
It
Tatum's
has
been
been.
out there. Like, it's really these guys who've been taken over. So I think it's gonna be fun to see this overall series. I think it's something that, like, we'll predict how long it's gonna go, but I'm hoping it goes all seven. I'll say that. I hope it goes all seven. Like, give me a seven.
Basketball gods, hear our prayer.
Give me a seven game. I think it's going to be fun. How would now put your coach hat on? How are you doing defensive matchups?
Shit,
Now,
man.
let's say Boston guarding Dallas. How are you doing all that?
Here's the thing. I just really just it just came to me like defensive matchups are all good, but they're just gonna be switching on the fucking picks anyways.
Right, right.
So it's just like, okay, we can do that, but just to be honest, don't leave forfeit on the island.
Yeah, no.
That's my strategy for Boston. Just don't leave forfeit on the island. And
Who's
yeah,
guarding Luca for you?
Luca would have to be like the thing is you have Luca, you have Kyrie, right? Luca's a bigger body than Kyrie, so I'm gonna have to go with my boy. Oh yeah, we have Derek White. Damn, we have some guys, right? So I was gonna say maybe Jalen Brown though,
I
right?
think you go Jalen Brown. I think Luca. We talked about it. It's funny. I heard a podcast days after our podcast say, like, the best way to guard Luca is with another big body. You can't guard him with a skinny guy.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brown's a big, strong guy. But then the argument would be Luca will put him in foul trouble, which is possible.
Jalen Brown is a good defender and he's a smart defender too.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
this is not Karl Anthony Towns making all these errors like that. The only discrepancy I have with Jalen Brown is he can't go left. Everything else is good with him. So you have him, Drew Holiday's guarding Kyrie, right? So
Yeah. You can
you
go
know what I
Drew, you can
mean?
go Derek White. The
But
thing is, they all can just go size and just, like, guard. But then the thing is, there's Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington. You need to have you can't have Derek White guard PJ Washington or Drew Holiday. So I think Drew Holiday is gonna guard
Derek White has to
Kyrie.
shit. Derek White has to guard
I
like
think he's guarding Luca.
Jones. Maybe because you're gonna have Drew Holiday on who then?
Drew Holiday's gonna guard Kyrie, and I think Derek White's gonna guard Luca. I think they're gonna just do that. They're gonna make it
Jaylen
easier.
Brown just guard Derek Jones Jr.
Yeah, they're gonna make size wise. Let's go size. PJ Washington and Jason Tatum. Just
Tatum,
go
okay,
size.
okay. Well, yeah, then they're gonna be switching. Then it is what it is. Just like
Right.
it is what it
Whatever
is.
happens,
Yeah, yeah.
happens. But they're gonna try to switch for Al Horford because Luca can break Al Horford out. So they're gonna do a lot of switches there. Um,
Yeah, Horford's 30's fucking, I think 7 or 8. So
yeah, so
he's a 38-year-old with NBA knees.
but Porzingis should be. There's no report, but I'm confident he should be playing game one. He got the week 2 weeks off. He should be playing. He was supposed to play the last series, but they won, right?
We'll see. We'll see. With Crispy and injuries, we don't know. What KPS is, we don't even know.
And Luca's gonna want to cook him.
Yeah,
If he sees
Kyrie,
him, he's gonna want to
Luca
cook him
is gonna cook them. Kyrie is gonna want to cook the Celtics.
easily, easily.
This is gonna be crazy, especially that they booed him and he remembers those boos. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna leave mine.
But the one thing I like about Dallas is that like they play with so much like energy. Like they're playing like when you watch hockey or watch football, doesn't normally happen with the team that you see that's on like well for them actually for those two sports you see it. The team that's on this streak, the team that all of a sudden their defense is like top notch and everyone's getting along. Normally will win. Like in baseball, the team that all of a sudden their pitching is good and their hitting is good and everyone likes each other is on. Like that's what you'll see win. That's why those titles sometimes it's hard to go back to back because all about like the streak you're on. Dallas is on a streak right now that like that's why I think they could win it because they're on this massive streak of we're hitting a good 20 games, 30 games. We beat the Clippers in 6, we beat the OKC in 6, and we beat Minnesota in 5. Like we're on a good streak ourselves here
So they got better. It's like they're getting better through
each
every
time,
series.
each time. So defensively, they've been pretty good the
They've been
last 30
amazing.
games, like
Like
very good.
we're seeing Luca and Kyrie playing actually dig deep on the defensive end, and
Right,
everyone's talking about it, and you're seeing it. Like it's like Kyrie, Luca.
right,
Before when we're watching Cleveland, Kyrie was like the weakest defender. Kyrie put him on an island, ISO,
right,
right? Are
right.
you serious? Luca before even KP, and when KP was there, oh Luca don't play defense, hide him, put him on an island,
Right.
right? Now it's crazy now. It's like
Yeah.
they all bought in.
That's a big thing. And I think Kate has done a pretty good with his rotations. You don't see Dwight Powell at all. And really you don't
Zero.
need him, right? You don't need him because you have Daniel Gafford and you have Derek Lively. So you don't really need Powell anymore. And Boston's not going to kill you with size, so
Hell no.
Powell's not going to be playing. I do think you will need a Hardaway, even though was it Hardy's getting more minutes right now.
I know.
The young player
He's
Hardy,
a
he's getting a
young
little bit more
bull. He's a
minutes.
young bull. He's decent.
Yeah, his like high school and like that he was supposed to be a player. He kind of has like that Cam Johnson, is it Cam Johnson or Cam Thomas from Brooklyn? He has that kind of like shiftiness to him. And Hardy's just a good player. He played for I think Knight. Like he's good. He's a real good player. But yeah, then you have all these good players and they all mess with each other. And I think that matters. And then Hardaway should get some minutes because I think this is going to be more of a guard wing heavy series.
Yes, which is going to be entertaining. Very
Right,
entertaining.
right. So I think you have to give Hardaway like, but I think me and you can both agree. Hardaway, if you go in and you're already like 0 for 3, you're not coming back. Get your sit down. You're not getting
It's
back
like,
up. We need a Hardaway game. Like that's what we're gonna need. We need you to hit the first 3 you touch, and
holy.
then we're gonna be like, okay, he has to be on. He has to be on for one game. He has to be. Yes.
I think
Boston
it's
relies so much on their
shot.
starters. Dallas needs like Luca's gonna do his thing.
Yeah.
And so is Kyrie, no matter what. They would have a really bad series to not do their thing, but they're gonna do their thing. But okay, in the series, well, game 7 is on the 23rd. That's in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we're here saying the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship. Did they win?
Because they didn't take the competition lightly. They came out from the gate and played at the potential they are able to play at instead of playing down to their opponent's potential. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the reason why, if they win, the reason why is because Jason Tatum was aggressive throughout the whole series, from the first quarter to the fourth quarter for the full 48 minutes, however long he's playing. You know what I mean? Jaylen Brown is still doing what he does, shooting a blistering percentage. I think
Right.
he's shooting 55% in the playoffs overall.
He's
Something.
been really well.
So you already know what you're gonna get from Drew Holiday. You know what I mean? You already know what you're gonna get from DW. No Arthur. You see what I'm saying? DW seems to play consistent, still hit open shots, which he does for the most part.
He
Solid,
hits very clutch shots.
right? Timely. Yeah, yeah. Horford, he had a game where he hit 7 threes. Horford's just gonna do Horford does. So it's like they just need their guys to play how they're supposed to play. You know what I
Do they
mean?
need Kristaps Porzingis to win? Do they need him to win?
You know what? This is a very good Dallas team. Yes, I would say yes. They need him to win, if not the whole series, they need him for at least 4 games.
So most likely the latter games then, the
Yeah,
latter of the
yeah,
series.
yeah. If he's not playing, let's say it goes 7 and he's not playing 0-7, I don't know, but they need KP. They need more depth because they need more depth on the bench. You know what I mean? So they need
Yeah,
Horford because Horford, you can't
he's
30, you
older.
want to be running him like 40 minutes. You know
You
what I mean?
can't. You can't.
It's tough. So you want KP stretch the floor to more space and more space for Tatum to operate. It just, KP's better laterally than Horford. Not crazy because KP's not the best laterally, but he's better. He's longer, more shot blocking. You need Horford. You need Horford. You need that bench depth. I mean, you need KP. Sorry, you need KP. You need Horford on the bench. So
I the thing with this series, what benefits Horford and Kristaps Porzingis, there's like a couple days in between games. Like the first game is Thursday, the next game is Sunday. So you
okay,
have like
that's good.
three days to rest, like or sorry, 2 days to really rest. Like there's multiple. It's not like back to back. I think only back to back from game five, six, and seven are game off, game off, game. I think that's
That's
what.
what I was thinking they're gonna do.
Yeah, but they're giving a lot of space for the rest of the first beginning of the series, so should be fun. Okay, 2 weeks from now, the Dallas Mavericks are the NBA champions. Why?
Because fucking Luca, Doncic, Kyrie Irving went off. They both have to go off, averaging 30 a game, right? PJ hitting timely shots, them playing defense, diving for loose balls. Ivy playing how he's rim rolling, you know what I mean? Gafford, same thing. Basically just doing what they've been normally doing, but just and hitting shots,
Yeah,
right? Hitting shots as a team. Hardaway having a good game, like a Hardaway game where he has like 15 points out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And
I think that's key. I think you need a Hardaway game, or you just need another guy to be like PJ is giving you like 15, 20 points some games, so I think that's good. Kyrie and Luka have been doing their thing. I truly think because the NBA playoffs is always a random thing that happens. You need a hard, or you need a hardy game. Like you need someone else that like is gonna go do pretty well.
I'm gonna
I
say
in my
Derrick
opinion.
Jones Jr., you know, because he's very capable, right? Catching those lobs, hitting those corner threes, so capable again, you know what I mean? So
You need like a Derek Lively perfect game, like a 10 for 10, 20 points, 12 rebounds. The Celtics as a team are good rebounders. Yeah, as a team, they're good rebounders because the James team averages like darn near 8 rebounds a game. Jalen Brown's like six, well, close
yep.
to six a game. So they get a lot of team rebounds. So it should be good. Before we give our finals prediction, we're gonna switch gears and talk about Caitlin Clark. We won't
Caitlin,
make it a long one, but right now there's a lot of talk of how the players are treating her, if it's unfair or not. Recently, she got hit in the who are they facing? I don't want to say New York, but
is it
no, no,
Chicago?
Chicago. Chicago, yes. They face Chicago. The girl hit her. Caitlyn fell. Some people think it's egregious that why are they treating Caitlyn like this? Whatever, whatever. I have my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. That everyone there that's not on your team is your opponent. right? So they're there to rattle not just you, but everyone on the team.
Right. Right.
They're there to win games and to get into your mind,
Right.
first and foremost, right? So it's not their job to hold your hand. Your teammates, on the other hand, your teammates, they're supposed to, you get knocked down, you're the franchise player. You got a franchise tag. They're supposed to come help you up. You good? No one's really supposed to be bullying you on the opposing team because your team, even if you don't have an enforcer, your team is there like, yo, ease up, ease up, ease up. You know what I mean? Someone's got to take a tech, something to show like, yo, we care because that's your star, right?
Right.
You guys are WNBA is getting more exposure because of said certain players. She's one of the said certain players. You're playing on her team. You got to show her some fucking respect
Right.
because she's kind of the reason, along with other players, why you guys are getting chartered flights now and whatnot. Before y'all run a Greyhound,
Right.
run the Greyhound. So just don't bite the hand that feeds you. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, her opponents are her opponents. Everyone that's not Indiana, okay, cool. But her team, y'all gotta hold it down. That's all I gotta say with that. Real talk.
So I think the one thing, some people don't like the thought process that like Caitlin Clark has brought more popularity to WNBA, but she just has. Like Michael Jordan brought more
It
popularity.
happened.
Like Michael Jordan brings more popularity to the game, like LeBron does too. Like it's okay that someone has made your league more popular. It's okay.
And it's not you. It's okay. You're a part of, you're in the league. Your
Like
pay scale is gonna go up because of said players. So it's like,
that's exactly it. So like you
it's
need the
crazy to me.
advertisement. Like you I know some league offices in the NBA are worried when KD and Steph and LeBron leave. They are pushing the agenda that Anthony Edwards is the face of the league.
Yeah.
They need the home viewer, not us, because we're gonna watch ball, but they need our moms to be like, if I'm ever gonna watch basketball, it's now. Oh, I want to see this person play. Like
Yeah.
they need people who are casual watchers to be like, oh, I heard about Anthony Edwards. Oh, it's Victor Wembanyama. Let me see the 7'3" guy, like or 7'5", whatever. Like that's what you need. These are the NBA likes people like us, but they don't want us. They don't want us. They want the random person that's gonna watch the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what increases the viewership. The ads that show up on TV are for them, not for us.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why the Super Bowl is incredibly popular because the ads that they show are never for the football fan. It's for the people who are. That's why they started doing different telecasts. They even do Nickelodeon one just for kids. Like it's,
I didn't even know that. For Super Bowl, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
it's not about us, right? It's not about us. The game is not about us.
For the casual,
It's
casual.
about for the casual, right? That's why like they play music that's known to everyone, right? Like it's not for the people who generally watch the sport or who care for the sport. That's why even now, I think for certain draft days, I'm not sure if it's just basketball they did it for or for NFL they did it for, is that they had two telecasts. One telecast was basically just the NBA draft. Number one pick, Dwayne. Number two, Michael. No. The other one is number one pick, Dwayne. Just to tell you a story about Dwayne, when he was 7, he fell off his bike. Like they'll break that down because that's not for me and you. It's for they I think it was some podcast they're saying it's for the women who don't watch it and are just watching randomly with their boyfriend or their husband,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or the
Yes.
husband is watching with their wife that knows it. You know what I'm saying? It's for
Yes.
the
Yes.
person who does not know. People want to watch the story. Giannis's story is even better because he was poor.
Yes. Kid in Athens, Greece, on the street selling trinkets.
Him and
Him
his
and
brother had to share shoes. Like
yeah.
the people like the dramatics. The reason why I can go all day with this. The reason why Steph Curry was so popular. There's a few reasons. I think some racist reasons. I don't lie. Him being light skinned benefits him greatly,
It
but
does.
also he was only 6'3". So you can tell your Johnny White kid or Johnny Black kid that hey, you don't have to be LeBron, right? You don't have to be KD. You could be Kevin Durant. So Caitlin Clark is more marketable currently. Okay,
Yeah.
it's all about the betterment of the league. That's all it comes down to.
It is what it is.
It's the better the league. Um,
And her team should be fucking like, yo, praising like we're getting this much attention, all this. Yeah, it's because of her, but we're included in the her because it's
right.
not tennis where it's just one on one.
Right,
So,
because WNBA was already growing in popularity. It was growing already. It just this year you brought some of the more popular people, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, who's legit killing it, who darn near looking like a defensive player of the freaking year this year in the WNBA, which is a rookie, and that's some Candace Parker, Tina Thompson type shit that she's doing. And then you have Caitlin Clark, who's the main star. They're putting Reese and Clark on main TVs
yeah,
because
yeah.
people know them from college. Like this stuff matters, man. These girls are bringing in more audiences. It's just simple like
So
that.
Paige come in the league and
Come
Juice
on.
come in the
When
league.
Paige comes, when Juju comes, when Flo J comes, it's just only gonna get better. Like it's what they need. It is so. But now going to the part where the defender hit Caitlin Clark. To be honest, this happens in the NBA like every game.
It does. It
Why is
does.
this a big deal? Because Caitlyn, like people fall down all the time. People get hit all the
She's
time.
getting hate from her team. You're
Right.
the franchise tag. One in the NBA was the franchise player, the clear cut number one, fall down like one of the face, and the team just
You're right. You always have to pick up your team. Always have to.
like when do you see LeBron fall and no one helps him? LeBron just gets up, dusts himself up.
Yeah. LeBron always tells the person to lay down. We have to pick you up. He
See
always
that?
tells them like, lay down. There's never not a thing.
See that?
Um, yeah, I agree. Where was the team to be like, oh, you're
It's
not just gonna hit her? You know, you have to have an enforcer. Michael Jordan had Charles Oakley. You know, you have to have someone there. James Johnson literally got signed to Indiana so he could be the enforcer against another
whoever,
team.
whoever,
Right.
whoever.
You have to have an enforcer. You have to have a guy who kind of just doesn't care and who's about it.
Yeah.
Right. You just have to have that guy. So it's funny that like this whole talk about Caitlin Clark, but she's made it the league more popular.
And
No doubt about it. Now, of course, the Vegas Aces are they freaking spectacular, and AJ Wilson is a superstar, superstar. Yes,
she can ball. Like
come on,
she can ball. They're poised for a three-peat.
it could, man. They're so talented. As a team, New York is the one team with Jaquel Jones and like, who can kind of compete in the Brianna Stewart and Sabrina. But like,
They can
other
ball.
than that, like those two, and then Connecticut, Alyssa Thomas is one of the most like she's not an underrated player because she finished like top three in I think she actually finished second. She's I think second or third in voting for MVP, but
That's
she is
true.
so talented that I almost borderline think she's underrated. Like she doesn't get talked about a lot, but she gets triple doubles like
Are you
nobody's
serious?
business. Nobody's business. She's incredibly talented. Her wife is Deanna Bonner, who plays for the team. Who like she's really good. She's like their best scorer, and she's like that team's really good. I would almost hope for them to win it because they're like the Boston Celtics. They keep going to the conference finals or the finals and not winning. That's the team if I had to like want my heart would want would be them because I think the way they play they're amazing defensively. Um, DeWanna Bonner, like they're all the team is good, and I would want them to, but we're probably headed to another New York versus Vegas Aces again, where
Yeah.
Angel Wilson is just shown consistently that she's the best player in the league. Brianna Stewart is amazing, but
Mhm.
Angel Wilson is the best player in the league.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no question she's the best player in the league. I also think this could be like Deanna Taurasi's last season, but we're not talking about it as much. But technically, it should be her last season.
That's
If
a
it's not, then she'll play one more season because
that's a
she's
leg.
getting up there in age.
Yeah.
So, but the NBA is fun. Like it's fun. It's one of those. It's in the summer, so it makes it easier to talk about. I've said multiple times when they bring the WNBA to Toronto, that first season, there's no way they're gonna let them play in this dinky Coca-Cola Coliseum. They're gonna play in Scotiabank Arena because
Mhm.
people are gonna want. What are people doing in Toronto during the summer? Nothing. Okay,
It's
we have
true.
to find things to do. We wait for the CME to
Well,
happen.
there's Jays. There's Jays. Don't
There's
say
Jays,
there's
and
Jays.
I was at the Jays game today. Funny enough, I was actually at the game today.
Shoot,
and it was
man.
packed.
It was packed. Yo, who won? Who they play? I didn't
The
even
Jays
know.
won. They faced the Pirates.
Okay.
It was a
Shout out.
good game. And like it was packed. People are gonna want to see this Canadian WNBA team. It's gonna
I'm
be a
gonna
more
want to see it.
cultural team. Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna want to see it.
I'm gonna try to go to the first
We're
game.
gonna want to see it.
I'm gonna try to go to the first game if I can. For sure. For sure.
That's big, actually. That's big. That's
For
big.
sure. But it's gonna be a hella expensive. I'm gonna try to go to the first game.
See,
Why
we'll
not?
see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think like for I think those tickets, the first game tickets will probably be like $100. Like $100. And I think it's gonna be
And
expensive.
where you sit, but don't put that energy in it. We'll see the price.
Yeah, but it's very true. It also depends on if they get like a star, like if they somehow get Watkins, oh,
Yeah, she's on pace for when. Oh shit! Yeah.
that shit's skyrocketing. You can't even talk
Usually
about it.
big time still.
And then the it's funny, it's like a gift and a curse. If the Raptors are good that season, those tickets will get even worse. Like because people are gonna want to see the WNBA team play because the Raptors are so good. They're like, oh, maybe this team will be like the Raptors. Like it's a whole thing. Um, but yeah, but that's just our Caitlin Clark. Anything else with Caitlin Clark you want to say?
That's it, man. Season's still early. We got more to talk about as it goes on.
Very early. Um, okay, let's make our predictions. The Dallas Mavericks and Boston Celtics, you know, we both believe there's multiple keys to this game. Dallas wins. It's going to be based off honestly, their defense has been really good, but Kyrie and Luca are the stars. Same thing with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. It's who's going to be the best tandem. That's what it comes down to. It's going to come down to who's going to be better, Luca or Jason Tatum. Who's going to be? Is Jason Tatum going to like show himself in a good way? Where does Jason Tatum really rank amongst the best and the elite of the league? All these questions are going to be asked. You know, how good was Boston? Boston did play with their food, like you said, a lot. That's why I kind of will lean one way potentially. But Boston's also the best team in the league and it showed it. So they could just show everyone like, yeah, we were playing with our food because we can. We're good enough to play with our food. So
Yeah. I like that quote still.
now you tell me. I'll let you go first. Who's winning this series? How many games and why? And who's the MVP? Let's do MVP team.
Okay, who's winning the series? Bean, Beantown in 7. I'm going Beantown in 7. I feel like the quote you said, maybe they're that good they can play with the food and still win. I'm going with that quote. The reason you said that, I feel like Boston, just overall team. Dallas is playing very amazing basketball, very good basketball right now. But as a team overall, I feel Boston's more talented overall from
Yeah,
one
they
to
are.
five, right? So if they really play like they believe that they're the most talented team in the league, then they're gonna win in 7, right? So I feel like Tatum's too much to handle, but there's both Luca, Kyrie, Tatum, Brown, too much to handle. But from a team, it's Boston in 7.
MVP Jason Tatum.
Say that again.
Like finals MVP will be Jason Tatum.
Finals MVP is, yeah, it's gonna be Tatum still. You know, the thing is, he's averaging more than Jalen Brown, even though Jalen Brown's been playing. He's
Yeah, but
averaging.
Jalen Brown, I think like I did believe Jalen Brown deserved it more. I felt Jalen Brown was just more impactful, and I think ultimately everyone gave it to him because of game one. That game one shot really like it's all mental. I think once Indiana lost that, they're like, we're not fucking winning this series.
Yeah, because that shot was crazy. Like Siakam was in his jersey. He had to. So
So okay, I'll give mine and like first of all, I do not want Boston to win. I'll say that strongly. I'm not a Boston person. I know I'm wearing green. I'm not a Boston person. I don't want Boston to win. But I really like Jason Tatum. I really like Jalen Brown. I love Drew Holiday, love Derek White, like Al Horford, like Kristaps Porzingis. The team itself, I
you like
love
the
every
team, you
individual
just
player.
like Boston. Like you
I
like
don't like
everyone that
Boston.
plays. You
Straight
like
up, I don't
everyone
like
that
Boston.
plays, man.
I just don't want them to win. I not
You
enough.
like Pritchard? Do you like Pritchard?
I do like Pritchard. I think he's a good backup. He plays
Like
tough.
Hauser? Do you like Hauser?
I want to see more from him, in my opinion, but they don't need him. They don't need it. It's if Drew Holiday and Derek White. First of all, I really didn't speak. If the key to Boston really winning is Derek White,
Yeah,
everyone knows.
yeah, yeah.
Derek White is having a good game. Boston's winning. There's no that guy is their. He's their reason. He's the most impactful player. He
Does
really
he really have bad games though?
barely.
Exactly. Okay.
Barely. Derek White is like so legit. Everything he does, his clutch shots, plays great defense. He's the most impactful guy on the squad, hands down.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
yeah.
and Jalen Brown just came one of the best players, but the impact wise, it's always him. Okay, so I was gonna go Dallas originally because I felt like my gut was telling me Dallas and Minnesota, and I didn't go with it. I still think it'll be weird seeing Luca hold the title because he's won it earlier than Jordan or earlier than LeBron,
You're
earlier
looking
than
at those
Kobe.
stats,
No,
okay.
no. Sorry,
I said looking at those stats, okay,
or
okay.
but I'm thinking it'd be weird to see Luca win it. For some reason, it's throwing me off, but that's just my own thoughts. But ultimately, I'm gonna go. If it goes to seven, it's Mavericks in seven. So I'm gonna go Mavericks in seven because I don't think in a game seven, Luca's going 0 of 8. I think the man is going like crazy in a game seven. I think Luca's made for game sevens, and so is Kyrie. I think they're both made for game sevens.
Definitely.
But I also think Boston is one of the most clutch teams in the league. But I think if Boston wins, it has to go to a game like 5 or 6.
I don't think this series done in five.
If
I'd be
if
pissed.
it is done, it's Boston winning it because Boston will show
I'd
dominance.
still be pissed. I'd be pissed at Dallas if they're done in five. Like, what happened? We'll see.
Yeah,
It's
but
seven. I just hope
it's
to God
seven.
it's seven. It's seven. I hope to God it's seven. Whoever wins, I hope to God it's seven. But it's
Yeah,
big time seven. So
yeah. I hope it's seven. I think if Dallas were to sweep, let's just say if Dallas would ever sweep Boston, I think Boston would trade a player. I think they're trading Jalen Brown.
they would have to. They're making changes if they get swept.
And the crazy thing, I think we said it last week. If Boston loses and Dallas wins, I still don't think Boston should make any changes. Like you're still a pretty good team.
I still don't either. Still low
Yeah,
key.
you're still like I think eventually you'll make it over the hump. You're too talented of a squad. You will eventually make it over the hump.
Yeah, yeah.
Eventually. But that's our predictions. You say Boston in seven. I say Dallas in seven. I think what we're really hoping for is a game seven, right? I wanted to pick Boston, but makes sense. Why I just couldn't. I couldn't because the way I'm looking at the way Dallas is playing like a team, the way they all mess with each other, it just means so much. Like when you keep going. Shout out to PJ Washington. He started from Charlotte to now he's in the NBA Finals. Like that's a huge blow up. But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, enjoy game one. We'll be back after game two. It should be a fun series. Honestly, I think we could both just hope for a one-on-one series because if it's 1-1, we know it's competitive. We know it's competitive. That's all we want to see is competitive ball. Ultimately speaking, probably more news to come. Maybe some coaching hirings. Maybe JJ Redick finally goes to the LA Lakers. Who knows? Even though the rumor is that they want to wait until after the NBA Finals, but the man is going. He's going. So, but make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We'll talk to you guys again. Peace.